All right, so I have my pen and paper ready. So if anybody has any questions that they want to go over, want me to go over on this training, please just do one at a time. Again, like I said, I don't mute my classes. I just asked you to be courteous and mute yourself if there's background noise or if there's talking or anything going on outside that might interfere with someone else being able to concentrate on what we're talking about. So other than that, if it gets too noisy, then I'll mute the whole class. But other than that, I don't mute the class. So go ahead. I'm ready for questions or anything that you want us to go over. I'm ready.
Yeah, Sheila,
Uh-huh.
I was having a little problem with under images,
Mm-hmm.
the alternate text. At some points I have the image, which is reflecting of what I'm talking about, but it's not specific to that category. In other words, I wanted it to like go to another internal link. So do I put in the alternate image the topic of the alternate of the
other
page
link
I want it to go to? Yes.
You can do that. You just want to make sure that you have more of your images on there that are going to the page that you're actually writing about. If not, you're going to get a little message down in your SEO that says you're linking to another page or your images are not reflecting your topic or your key phrase. So usually I do that when I'm doing an internal link. I try to have at least one image going to that internal link, not just the link itself. But you don't want to have more than one
Okay.
in there, and that's fine. You just link it, use the key phrase that you want to link to that page, and same thing with your internal link.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next question. Come on, guys.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm first time here with you. Congratulations
Okay.
to your baby.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, they sent me here because they said I need help with my pages because they want to get me ready for Google AdSense, and I don't really know what they want me to do.
Okay. What kind of issues are you who was your instructor?
Heather
Okay.
Nason.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So where are you struggling, or what are some of the key issues that you are having with your pages exactly?
I think they say I have problem with the linking.
Okay.
Because some of the linking are showing up on the main page, after you modify them and I go and check it out, you see the linking outside of the page instead of in the word and whatnot.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Okay.
And the other thing is I'm having problems with the ads.
Okay. What specifically with ads? Just posting them or creating the actual content for the ad?
Actually creating them.
Okay.
Yeah, because my passion is holistic medicines and holistic health. And for to create an ad with an expression, you have to have the heart, you put your heart in. And that's why I had been hesitant on creating ads.
Well, okay, let me hold on just a minute because you're overthinking the ad section of it.
Okay.
And just give me just a minute. Let me put the baby down because I'm gonna need 2 hands for this.
Okay.
Bye bye, sweetie. See you in a little bit. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to go over is your actual putting in your links. So we're going to go over here to my page, and I'm going to go to a page I created last night. I have been creating pages like crazy. And see, like here where I have green products, since you are into holistic medicines, you can actually change this green products title to holistics. or alternative medicines, depending on how you want to go. I just have green products. That way it usually it comes with your PBS. And I put anything in from, holistic medicines to natural medicines. I even do chemical-free beauty, makeup, cosmetics, things like that. I have one student, she actually does like alternative energy sources under green products. So you can do just about anything you can under this title, but if you want to center just on holistics, you can. So this is one of the pages that I created last night. And so I'm just going to come in here and edit. And one of the things that you were saying is that your link is appearing actually within the content of your page. That's a simple fix. So this is what's happening. So I'm going to just copy my link here, if it'll let me. Okay, let me get this glare off of here. I don't want to do that. There we go. So I'm going to copy this link. And so what you're saying is when you go and you highlight and you go to click on your link, see how it disappears, and then you want to just paste your link in there. Then you want to make sure you open it in a new tab and you click submit. Now, if it appears outside, then that means what you've done is maybe inadvertently you didn't highlight the whole information. Say like you were thinking, okay, I want to do this, and then you come up here and you click anywhere on your page, it goes away, and then you click your link and you're assuming that your link is highlighted or the phrase, then you hit paste, and then you do your open in a new tab and submit, and then boom, there's your link inside your paragraph. And that's what you're seeing, correct?
Yes.
Yep, that's what's happened. So what that means is that even though you highlighted it, you could have clicked anywhere on your paragraph and not necessarily your link. It will delete your highlight, and then when you go to paste it in, it doesn't have anywhere to paste it, so it's going to put it wherever your cursor's at. So you always want to make sure before you go and do that or put your link in, that before you do it, whenever you like, I can put another one here, just highlight it, make sure your highlight stays, and then immediately go to your link, click on your link. It's going to go away, and then just hit paste, open in a new tab, and then submit, and it should highlight. Now, if you see that it goes outside, then all you have to do is come up here, hit this arrow. It will undo whatever you just did, and then just highlight your phrase or word again, and then just automatically hit that link. Don't click anywhere other than that link, or your highlight will go away.
Okay.
Okay. Now for your ad, it's very simple. You want to, Kathleen was talking, did a great seminar today or webinar today on how to do ads and to content. My daughter is laughing at me. So here's the one that I did for our new program. So your ad, you want to make sure that, number one, you have your page already created. And this is one of the templates I use. I have several different templates. I'm actually in the process of transferring them from a Word document into my Google Doc folder, and I'm having each one of my affiliates on a separate folder. So I'll have all my wine ads in one, I'll have all my coffee ads in another one, I'll have all my beauty cosmetics in one, drinks, things like that, so I can just pull them up individually. So this is one of the things you want to make sure that you have what your title is or what your product is. You want to make sure you have your link. Right now I only have one link. Actually, I have a couple of different links. So you want to put your different links in here. Then you want to create a headline. Now your headline is anything that will grab your attention, that people will see and say, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to see what that is. I want to read that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It needs to be short, sweet, and to the point. If you can include your focus key phrase in there, then that's even better. That way you'll get better ratings as far as clicks for Google. They will actually see your key phrase. You don't necessarily have to. It doesn't have to be a long thought out process. You just want to say, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want people to see. And it usually should be based on what your content is in your actual page. So like this one is one, my headline is, what is brain foods? I had one person, they read my page and it's like, well, your grammar's off. I actually use Jaxie, and Jaxie tells you to use the exact phrase. So you can't change whatever's in there, even if it's grammatically incorrect. Because if you do, then you change your search phrase. And when you change your search phrase, your numbers go down, or it could go up. So I always use exactly what's in there, even though it's grammatically incorrect and it drives crazy. But that's one of the things I had to overcome was incorrect grammar. But this is what this had the highest search, and it's grammatically incorrect, but it's there.
Mhm.
So then what you're going to do, and a lot of people, you can actually use your first paragraph. You can pull content out of your own website that you are writing, which is what I did. I just put in there some of the things that I think, feeling confused, mentally exhausted, moody, and losing focus, need some help regaining your cognitive function. Is your brain what it used to be? And then, that's just to catch them. And then I give a little bit of content. This is what it does. This is what you're looking for. Then you need to try this. Find out more information. You can have it short. You could have stopped right here and then put your link in it. And you always want to make sure you have images. So make sure you have whatever images you used in your page, that you use those images also in your ad. Some places will only allow you to use one. There's one place that allows you to use 5. There's some places that allows you to use up to 10. So it just depends on your place that you're advertising to. So don't overthink it, thinking that you have to have the perfect ad to go out there. Whoever's that, please, there you go. Thank you. You just want to make sure that you have the content, you have that catchphrase, you have that information that's going to catch somebody's attention. Like Paul was saying after, Kathleen did her, you don't want to give them a rundown of your page. You just want to have that attention grabber they're going to say, yeah, I want to read this. I want to see what else is out there. I want to see if they have what I'm looking for. So don't overthink your ad. Your ad is just that. It's an ad. It's an attention grabber. It's giving them just enough content so that they can click your link to your page and read the rest of your information.
Okay.
Does that
All right.
help clear it up?
Yeah, I'll experiment with it and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. Trust me, when I first did mine, I'll show you my first, and it's funny. My first template was, I literally copied my whole page of one of my ad pages. And it was hilarious, because when I go back and look at it now, it's like, what was I doing? It's, people actually seen, I mean, this is some of my first ones, just short, sweet. I even put pricing in there, just really short and sweet. And that's it. And then I came back and I was like, okay, they need a title. And it still gets good kids, because if you're like, I have like my husband, he doesn't like long drawn out things. He wants something short, sweet, to the point. And then you have me, where it's like, okay, give me a little bit more information. I want to see exactly if it has what I'm looking for in the ad. If it doesn't, I'm not going to click it. So you can cater to both. That's why we say, when you make an ad, you want to have at least 4 or 5 different headlines and have at least 3 to 4 different descriptions. That way you can cater to just about anybody. And then that way you're not limiting yourself to who your audience is. If you go into 18 to 25, they just want something sweet that's going to catch their attention. If you're doing the 35 to 40 age group, they want just a little bit more detail. If you're looking for the 50 to up, then they want you to say, hey, this is what it does. This is where you can get it. Click here to find it. So you have to think of your demographics and what they're looking for, and then make your ads accordingly. And then you can always come back and fix them, as you get more comfortable with your website, as you get more in detailed with what you want to put in your website, you will always come back and add to, take away, modify your own content. I do it all the time. That's why I have 3 or 4 different spreadsheets with some of the same information. I'll go and grab that one and say, okay, this is what this product does based on what I've used, based on my research. So as you grow and as you try some of the products, then also you can create new templates and ads for them. So don't limit yourself on that. Don't overthink it. Don't think you have to have this big commercial for an ad. You don't. You just want something simple. Always, always, no matter where you post an ad, you want to make sure that you have that image in there. This is one of the ads I posted last night. I think it was last night. And this is one I did for Bitcoin. So if I click on it, you'll see how it looks. Talks about Bitcoin. It's kind of long and drawn out, but you know, it's gotten several hits in the different places. It's got my link there. It's got my email. It's got my Google Voice. That's why I always tell people they're like, I keep getting kicked off Google Voice. I use Google Voice in all my advertising. Anytime they ask me for a contact phone number, I put my Google Voice number. People do call me and leave me messages. And then you want to pick your category, and then here's your images. This one allows you to do 3 different images. So these are images that I created. Each image has a way for them to look at my website. This one has a little logo on it. This one's actually a meme I created for my new page I wrote. This is a meme I created for my PGN. So you want to be, and if you're in the memes program, this is one of the best ways to utilize those memes is in your advertising, because not only does it show them what you're talking about, but each meme has a link to a page in your website, but you want to make sure that they are at least in common with what you're talking about. So that's one of the things. You know, you can have a short, long drawn out one. You can have a you know, just a detailed one if you want to. If I go to and look at another one, let's see, this one's kind of slow.
Well, how did you get Daffy Duck in 3 different places
That's
there?
not mine. That's somebody else's ads. These are people's ads. You can actually pay, I think it's like $30 or $50 a month, and have your ad show up here. These are where people's actually paid. I don't pay for these ads. These are free. So
Okay.
yeah, this program is free, but you can pay. If I wanted to pay and say, okay, I want to put my Bitcoin ad out here, then I would give them an image, send them a money to my link to my PayPal, pay for the, and for a month they will feature my ad on the side. You don't have to do that. So this thing's taking a really long time. So if I want to, you know, and these are all the different images I have. You can upload different images. Some of my shorter ones that I've done, let's see if I can get it in there. Like I said, this is really slow. But these are just ones I did last night, and I've already gotten hits from the different places. The good thing about
Same title?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is one of the sites, you know, it's a pain in the butt to get there because it has a lot of pop-ups on there, but once you get in there, you can use it. And this is one that you can use the same one over and over and over, posting it to different countries. So here's one that I said for brain food. There's one I did for calling out all vegans, and I've gotten tons of hits off of this for the vegan products. And this is for the new drink. So we can click on that and we can see, you know, that one's kind of short. It lists different places. And then plant-based foods was my link. So here's different things, you know, just different ways. And I got different things in here because my page incorporates different products. It incorporates my hot cocoa and my Valentis products. It incorporates my Blue Scorpion products. It missed an ad. There's one of the images it missed. So I got to go in there and fix that. So, but anytime you see something like that, that means an image is not showing up. So, but I can go in here and edit this later and fix that, because that means it's not showing up on any of them. And once I fix it, it'll be fixed throughout all of them. But that's one of the things you can do, you know, just different things. You can actually pull out the first paragraph in your page to put in there and just doctor it up a little bit so it sounds more like an ad instead of a paragraph. But it's just different things. Just, you know, play around with it. There's no wrong way to do an ad, only in Facebook. Facebook is the only place that you have a wrong way to do an ad, and that's where you put the link in your actual post. The link should always go in the comments. That way it gets posted to the news feed. If you have a link, it will only go to your friends and family. If you put the link in the comments, then they can pick it up on the news feed, and then anybody can actually read it and see the information that you have provided there. So I hope I hope that helps clear it up a little bit. Like I
I'll
said,
be back.
usually, yeah. And usually, like I said, my class, I usually do go over pages and show you how to create pages. But like I said, it's just been a little bit hectic for me. So I haven't had a chance to actually go in and create pages for a class. So I hope y'all forgive me, but we'll be back on track after next week.
Sheila?
Sheila?
Yes.
I was struggling with the links. I had modified a page and there were portions of it where there was a phrase that I colorized.
Hmm.
And then when I put the link in, it flipped it to that light blue and I could not do both. I could not have a color of my choosing and the link attached to.
Okay. With the new program, you can. So
Okay.
what you need to do is go back to your link and you want to highlight it. All right, and you want to highlight the whole thing. If you have a particular color that you have to do the whole thing. So you highlight the whole thing, and then there's this little drop-down arrow right here. You want to click on that, and then there's the color text. And you want to do this after you put your link in.
Okay, that was my question,
Yeah.
because I had it all colored and then went back to put the links in and it flipped it back to the light
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah, do your link first and then come back and then you can hit your text color. And then you can do custom color. If you don't like any of these primary colors, just go to custom. And then since it's already on blue, it's going to default to blue. But if you want to go to maybe a different color, maybe a periwinkle or a lighter purple, just hit that and then click anywhere on the paragraph and it changes it.
Okay, so link first, then
Link
color.
first. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
I love doing that contour color. I usually use that one.
Yep, and for those of you that was on class last week, I think it was last week or week after, week before last, we actually found out that you can colorize if you wanted to do a drop cap, that you can colorize the letter that you want to drop, and then you have a colorized letter that actually gets the attention. So you can just do one letter if you're going to do a drop cap, and in that way you can emphasize a particular paragraph that you want people to draw attention to. So there's great things that you can do now with this new thing. I usually, like I said, this is a page I haven't gone back to reread it to look for grammar, which most of the time I don't, because you don't want a perfect page. You want it as grammatically correct as you can, but you don't want it perfect because most people don't read perfect pages. They kind of get a little overwhelmed, or they feel like, hey, this person knows a little bit too much. I'm not sure this is where I want to be. So you want to have a little imperfection. Don't ask me why, but it works. It just is. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and for somebody to come in and see a paper that has no mistakes in it, it kind of makes them feel, a little inferior. So always have a few. Don't make your page totally perfect. Don't know why it works, but it works. So I know it don't make sense, but it works. So, all right, next question.
Hi, Sheila.
Yes, hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Emilio?
Well, I got so wrapped up into the page that I sent you
Uh-huh.
because it wasn't quite finished. And between this morning with listening to Paul, and when he was done, I continued working on that page, and I lost track of time. So I checked in a little late today. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Trust me. It was 3 o'clock. What's today? Saturday. It was 3 o'clock Thursday morning before I went to bed.
No.
So, and it's because I'd been taking the new product, the I can't even say it now. Velavita. There it is. Velavita. And
I guess I missed the one time that I missed that because is that the only new product?
Yep, so far that's it. And we haven't launched it yet. He's actually going to be talking about it on Tuesday.
Okay.
So the MSIs, before he wanted to present it to everyone, we had to try it out first to see if it actually did what it said it did. And so far it's amazing.
What does it do?
It actually clears up brain fog is what I call it. It's an energy drink without all of the side effects. It gives cognitive skill, a boost. It gives your energy a boost. It makes you wake up. If anybody's ever taken those 5-hour energy drinks, and after about 5.5 or 6 hours, you start to feel like drained. This does not do it. It's like it just continues to go on and on and on. It speeds up your metabolism. It actually makes you feel good.
Mhm.
I mean, and it comes in a little pack, literally a little square pack. You shake it up, to mix everything. It's all
Right.
natural. And it has this little slit. You just want to make sure it's in your mouth before you do it. You pop it in there, you put it under your tongue for 15 seconds and swallow it. And in about a minute to 2 minutes, you start feeling, it's just like, okay, I'm awake. What can I do now?
Kind of like a.
Is there a time of day that you're supposed to take that? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I took mine. I had my hot chocolate, because I always mix my thermal roast and hot chocolate together, because I don't like the taste of just plain coffee. So I took mine about 1 o'clock. I don't take it first thing in the morning because I'm a morning person. I'm already up. But usually about 1 or 2 o'clock, especially when the kids come in from school and everything, it's like, okay, I need a nap. So I usually take it about 1 o'clock, and it's like that boost of energy. The only thing is, when I took it Thursday, it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it kind of kept me up, because I don't sleep well anyway. So it was like I couldn't go to sleep, and I kept having all these ideas. Literally, I was driving to my mom's to meet my son to get my grandkids, and my daughter was with me with the new baby. And I was telling her as I was driving, here, write this down in a note. I need to write a page about it. And I was telling her constantly, can you write this down? Write this down. I need to write a page. Because it was just like my brain was just ticking off things over and over and over, because it was just like a
I wondered
fog.
because they advertised it to assist with sleep. So I wondered
Yeah.
if you should take it earlier in the day.
It makes you relax, so that when you do go to sleep, you sleep more restfully and more and deeper. It's not one of these where you tossing and turning, and you don't get the jitters. And I'm very susceptible to migraines, so that was one of the things that I told him. I was like, okay, I have to watch what I take, because sometimes it'll trigger a migraine if it has too many stimulants in it. This one doesn't. Just like with the coffee, that was the one thing about the coffee, is that it had the caffeine in it, but it's a natural producing caffeine. It's not um, an artificial caffeine. So it doesn't affect me the same way. My body can actually break down the components that caffeine comes from, and it doesn't affect me the same way. I mean, I can feel a little headache coming on, but I'm used to those. I always have them, but it's not a full-fledged migraine like if I'd have drank regular coffee. Same thing with this one. I actually took it, and it didn't give me a headache. I actually went a whole day without even feeling a headache coming on. Even after I drank my coffee and I took it, it was like, okay, I feel great. It's really a good boosting product. And then when I do go to sleep, it's like, okay, I hit the pillow, and it's like 5 minutes, and I'm asleep. It's not. And then my husband came in last night, because he came in, to be with us for the weekend. I didn't even hear him come in, and I'm a light sleeper. And I mean, it's like, I, how when you're sleeping or you're doing something, you feel somebody staring at you, you just feel like somebody's looking at you, and I turn around and look, and he's sitting in the chair, and I was like, when did you come in? He's like, I've been here for an hour. I already took my shower. And he said, I'm just trying to wind down. I was like, oh God, I really was asleep.
Yeah, I wondered because I know the products that are offered, throughout the program are not FDA approved. And I just wondered if there's like any disclaimer, or because I never saw any indications other on the labeling that you should check with your physician. But as far as representing the product in our pages, really, nobody ever makes any mention of that.
And they don't. And usually what I do, especially with the coffee and stuff, some of my pages, I do tell them to do that. If you're taking medicine, especially with a scorpion, if you listen to Dr. What's his name? The one that was on the, God, what is his name? Wilder. That was doing the scorpion a few months ago. Roy had him on the Tuesday call. He does put a disclaimer in there that there's certain products you cannot take the blue scorpion with, that it kind of hinders it. So I always put in there that if you're trying anything new, please consult with your physician to make sure it doesn't interfere, even though.
So like a drug, just to check for drug interaction.
Yeah, and you can always, and I always put it down at the bottom, put like a little asterisk, please, before you try any new product, check with your physician if you're on any types of medication, just to make sure it's safe. That way it covers you, it covers the company. And that's why I say always write from your experience. Even when I do research, I try to put research in there and says, well, per the doctor's explanation, this is how it's supposed to work. If they give a disclaimer, I always try to put that disclaimer in there. But yeah, always put down at the bottom, hey, but just to be on the safe side, check with your physician first. That
Oh,
way,
that's good. Yeah, I wondered about that for a while.
yeah, you can just put that in there and you'll be okay. All right.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is this the beginning of the training for instructor?
No, that's going to be at 1 o'clock. That's on another one. Yeah, I don't do the instructor
Today at 1
training.
o'clock?
That's Paul. So it's you're missing about 30 minutes of it already.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
going on.
yeah, go to the link I sent you in the chat. That's a different call.
Oh, okay.
But you can stay on here now, and then because you'll be missed it and you'll be lost. So join it
Right.
next week.
Okay.
And I'll get you the recording. He always
thought-
records it.
I thought the training was going to be with you.
No. I don't do the instructor call. That's Paul and Kathleen and Debbie.
Okay.
But that's fine. You can stay on here, and then we'll get you back on there when it starts up next week. No, next week they're not going to have it, but the week after we'll get you on there, and then I'll get you the recordings.
Hey, Sheila.
Hey.
Hey, kind of I guess, an add-on to what was said about the time of not taking it too late. I would say at least within 6 hours, if not more, of bedtime
Yes.
would be safe.
Yes.
Because that's what the perk says. Don't do within 6 hours of bedtime.
Yeah, and that's why I said I took it like at 3 or 4 o'clock, and it had me, like I said, I'm a light sleeper anyway, and I wasn't wound, but it was just, I have my terminology that they call it is hyperbrain activity. I have actually been diagnosed with that. I do not go into REM sleep ever. I've had several sleep studies, and they don't know how I function because my body never really shuts down. So for me to take something that actually stimulates and lifts is probably not a good thing because I'm already thinking in overload. But it really did. It was like, how can I say it? When you have that thought right on the tip of your tongue and you just can't quite get it to come out. Taking that, it was like, okay, I had all these half thoughts in my head, and all of a sudden they came to fruition, and it was like, okay, I got to write that down. I got to write that down. I got to write that down. And it just made things clearer. I felt relaxed and not jittery. It was just a really, even now, I haven't taken it this morning, so I probably won't take it today because it's so late. But then again, I might, depending on what we got planned for tomorrow. It just depends on, you have to figure out what your body, because everybody's body reacts differently to different things. It is not really a stimulant, but it acts like one. Like I said, if you've ever taken any type of energy drink and had that really good high feeling, I can do and go, and then that crash and burn was like, oh man, I'm so tired, I just need to take a break. I never felt this, and I've been on it for like a week and a half. I haven't felt it yet where I just crash and burn. It's just like, okay, I need to lay down. I'm going to go ahead and it's time for bed. I go to bed. I'm still relaxed. I'm not jittery. And when I go to sleep, I sleep. I wake up in the morning. I don't have a headache. I don't feel groggy. I don't feel like, I ran a marathon the day before and I just want to stay in bed. I get up and I'm ready to go. So it really is good. But like I said, just try it when you get on Tuesday's call and you get with your instructor and get the link to get in, and just try it for yourself. They have the 3 flavors. I haven't tried the lemon yet. I'm kind of scared with all the different things that's going on about the lemon, but I do like the
I know they said it tasted like children's cough medicine.
I like the sea salt, the chocolate and sea salt, and I like the caramel macchiato. I actually have mine in the refrigerator, so I take it out and shake it up, and it's cold. To me, it tasted better than at room temperature, but again, it just depends. You can mix it with 4 ounces of water. I tried that first, and I didn't like it with the water. It kind of made the water taste like lemon water, and I don't like lemon water. And And that's what, it just had, like, the water had a weird taste to it. I just like it tasted better straight. And like I said, I got mine in the refrigerator. I don't know if I wasn't supposed to refrigerate it, but I did. It just tastes better. And just remember, when you get it, shake the packet up. Don't just take it out and pop it. Shake the packet up, because there are ingredients in there that kind of settle. So you need to shake it up. It's just like if you get the olive oil dressing, olive oil and herbs. All the herbs are down at the bottom, the oil is at the top. Shake it up. Same thing with this. Shake it up for a couple of seconds to get everything, mix it up, then open your mouth and pop it. To me, it works better.
The
Sheila,
lemon
are you
has
taking
had-
that with the Blue Scorpion?
No, this is a new product that's going to be introduced on Tuesday.
No,
Developed.
I know, but are you still taking it with your?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yep.
Sheila.
Hey.
On the recommended use, the very last sentence, store at room temperature to preserve freshness.
Yeah. Like I said,
So
I
it's
did-
not
I-
really fresh.
I put it in the refrigerator because I like it better cold.
The lemon's not as bad as I figure it would be. I like certain lemon things, but
Uh-huh.
as general, I don't care for lemon, and it was okay. But the caramel actually is about as good, if not better, than the chocolate for me, even though I like chocolate. So
I'm between the two, so I swap them out one for the other. So it's like yesterday I took the caramel, so today was supposed to be chocolate. So like I said, I still might do chocolate, but those are two so far. I think I'm gonna save the last the lemon for last.
I've got my wife drinking the lemon
So
because she
and
loves lemon.
yeah, my daughter likes lemon and my mom likes lemon. So I think next time I go, I'm gonna take it to my mom. So I let her try it, her and my dad. But I'm kind of hesitant about the lemon. So, but I'm gonna try it just so I can say I tried it. All right. Any other questions that we have? What else do we have today that you want to go over? I know Phil's on here. She was having some issues with Response Magic. So this is a perfect time. If you're on here, unmute yourself and we can go over that.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, let's go. What you got?
On Response Magic, when I would go I went into it the other day, and I went on my contacts, and it showed a whole list of contacts on there. And I know I didn't add them in there, but I did see my brother on there.
Yep. And see, and the thing about it is, and I hate to say it, but our Response Magic does get hacked. And what it is people can come in, or advertising companies can come in, and they will fill out your Response Magic code on your site and fill it up with all kind of things. But if you look at it, the email is different, the names are different, but the phone number is all the same.
Right, and there's several of them with several different numbers, but
Yeah.
there are a lot of that different number.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
if they have a different number, then more than likely they've come in through your site. You don't have to manually put them in. That's why you have that code on your site. If they visit your site and they see something that they like, you've invited them to fill out that form. So that's what that form's for, is for people that go to your site, they fill it out and say, yeah, I want more information, or hey, contact me. And they're giving you permission to contact them. So that's where you want to go in and create that email, where you can go in and say, hey, thank you for coming in. What can I, do for you? What are you looking for? And go from there and let them respond back to you, because they've given you permission to send them emails. You can also, if you don't have the text portion of it, which is like $9.95 or $12.95, I forget how much it is. It's just drafted out of my account. You can actually send them a text, or you can go to your Google Voice, or if you have text now or text for free, and send them a text and say, hey, you filled out my form on my website for more information. What can I help you with? And then, you might develop a new customer. You can get them into PBS, all kind of different things, but they've given you access or permission. Now, those that have the same number, more than likely they are not real people, but you can always send them an email and see if you get a response and say, hey, your name appeared on my invite form. I was just verifying if there's something I can help you with, and see if you get a response back. If you do, then you can ask them, hey, can you verify your phone number for me? and go from there. But if it all has the same phone number, more than likely it's come from one of those hacks. But it doesn't mean that you can't try the email and see if it works.
Can you bring up your Response Magic and let me point out where I'm finding these contacts at,
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
please?
Sure.
What would be the advantage of them doing that?
They're free advertising. Yep, and it's just like anybody that hacks your own your information. I gotta find out where I put my Response Magic. There it is. I gotta move it. It needs to actually go into website enhancements. All right, so
Okay, so no, not there. Go down where it says view contacts in this list. There.
Mhm.
So all of mine show up right there.
Yep, and what that is because this is the list that you have on your main page.
Okay.
Yep, and see, because I have several lists, mine could be anywhere. Because this is the managed list, so I got it was shot with Mama Chief, but see, I have all these other lists, so I can actually click on one of these and click and then say view autoresponders in that, and it's going to show me if there's anything in there.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was clicking on the correct spot
Yep.
To find my list, but if I don't message them, should I just delete them?
Yeah, if you don't message them, I would at least attempt at least an email to see if they are a real person, and just tell them, say, hey, your name showed up on my contact responder list. I was just verifying, who you are and what I can help you with, and see if you get a response back. If you don't get anything back in 3 or 4 days, I usually give 3 or 4 days on an email because people don't check their emails every day. You can even give it up
Right.
to a week. If you don't hear back from them, yeah, go in and delete them.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Sheila,
Yes.
2 questions.
Uh-huh.
First one, how do you spell that new product? Velovita?
Velovita, just like it sounds.
V-E-L? Go ahead.
Yeah. I say just like it sounds. V-E-L-O, love it. V-E-L-O-V-I-T.
I-T-A?
No, yeah, I-T-A, Velovita.
Okay, and the second question,
Okay.
I lost my notes. When you want to insert the video that Rory has to put into the wine pages, how do you insert that,
Okay.
the video?
So what you want to do is, if you have the video, then all you'd have to do is, like this right here is a video. And I
Right.
got this video off of YouTube. So there should be an embed code. So you want to make sure you've copied that code already from another place. And then you want to open up a tab. So you just hit the X or the plus sign. If you don't see it here, it should be a custom HTML. If you don't see it, you want to go into your, I think it's in formatting, which is your custom HTML. So you want to click on that. I haven't updated to the new 5.5, so I think it's a little bit different, but that's exactly the same one you want to use. You hit custom HTML and you want to type in that code in there.
And the
And
code's
then,
the code's in the
yes, the code should be in the wine page. So if you go and open up one of the wine pages, that the code's already there.
Okay.
So we're going to go and I'll show you how to copy that. So let's go here and we'll just go to cooking food and wine. And we'll go to fine wines. So you want to make sure you are in edit. You want to edit your page. And you want to scroll down to where the video's at, which is right here. And you want to click on this. And this one is actually in classic. I don't know why it's not in classic. Okay, shush, 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 shush. So I don't know why this one's all in classic. That's weird.
It's not supposed to be.
Well, this was one of the first pages we ever did, but
Right.
let me get out of here. I want to go to one of the other ones. So I have it on another page. But if you go, when you get into all these pages, I have wine. So let's go here and hit edit. See if I have it on here. See, this is in Classic too. I gotta go and update these pages.
Okay.
All right. And that's just the picture. It's not the actual video. So I've taken the video off of here. So we can come here and let's find another one. Find one that's not in Classic. Let's look at this one. I used to love Classic because that was, to me. All right, let's see if this is it. That looks like it's just a picture too. Yep, that's just a picture too. So I must have taken all the video out. So that's no problem. I have it actually on one of my trainings.
Hey, Sheila, is there a video of Rory promoting the wine ambassadors like he did wine cellars?
It is. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. There is a new one.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and I just got to find it because I copied the link to make sure I had it. I just don't know where I copied it at. Isn't that terrible? And I don't know why I don't have it on my pages. But I know I got it on one of them somewhere. And we will find it here in just a moment. Yes, I want to leave. I didn't change anything. But you would just go and where is that page? Let's try here. And see, I don't have all of my wine pages on my, I think I have it in that one. Here it is. So we're going to click on edit page.
Mm-hmm.
And once it goes into edit mode, you're going to have your code right here. And if you don't have a code, you can just hit preview and it'll show it to you. You're going to click on your HTML. You're going to copy that frame. You're going to copy it. And then that's why I always say whenever you're working in your site, I have two tabs of your site open. One that you're working in and one that you can get information from. So then you're going to come here and you're going to go to where you have your HTML and you're just going to left click or right click and then hit paste. And then there's your information and hit preview. Now, if you don't want it this big, say, you just come here and hit preview and you can change it. I wouldn't suggest you do it unless you just like, hey, that's exactly way too big. Get with your instructor that can show you how to change it because you don't want to mess with these numbers too much because then you can mess up your whole code. And then you just click preview and it will show you where your image is and you can go from there.
So the whole code, code is all those numbers?
Yes, the whole code. Yes, this whole thing needs to be copied
Okay.
for it to work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing needs to be, and you need to make sure you put it in an HTML block.
Okay.
Yep. Now, and same thing if you're getting anything from YouTube. When you go to YouTube, you can get several different ones from there. Like with this one that I used here. Let me get this one out. Like the one I used up here. This one here, I actually used the video URL. If you use the video URL, then what you can do is use an image block and use insert URL. But if you use an HTML code, you want to use the embed code.
Oh, golly.
And
Okay.
what was the code a while back that they wanted to have added in there to prevent people from
Yep, that's in episode 9. There's a code that you can put in at the end of it. This one should already have it. The video here should already have it in there. And I don't remember which one it is. I think
Okay.
it's one of these down here that has the code in it, the where it stops. When the video stops, it stops. It doesn't go to the next frame or the next video that pops up in YouTube. But I think it's in episode 9, and it actually shows you how to go in and post that in there and most of the HTML code, so that once the video finishes, it stops.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I got it.
All right. If not, when we get together, I'll show you how to put it in there.
When do we get together?
I'll have to let you know. I'm working on my schedule tomorrow. I'm going to get back on track tomorrow. So tomorrow night I'll be working on my schedule to get all my students in.
Okay, I send you another page. Let's see.
Yep, I got it, and I'm going to read it today.
But I've been working on it this morning, so I want to send you the.
Yeah, as soon as you hit,
the latest.
as soon as you hit update, the page that you sent me, when I click
Yeah.
on it, it'll have the updated one in. So you don't have to
finally got-
yeah.
I got
Yes.
all green this morning.
Oh, perfect. Good.
So, okay.
Good. All right.
Thought you said you were coming to Arkansas when you said your schedule was opening up.
No, right now I'm in Raleigh. So anybody that's in the Raleigh-Durham area, give me a shout out. We might get together and do some pages. if you
Refresh
need
my
to.
memory.
Yes.
Where is the trash can? Because I just accidentally deleted something.
It's around the
All right.
corner over here in my room.
you ain't right. So if you come up, where did they move it to? That's
I've
a-
never
In the
trashed
top
anything
right,
and
it says
didn't mean to
remove
this
for
time.
good.
It was an
Go to the
accident.
page. There you go.
Yeah, so if you've moved it to trash and you want to get it out of trash,
Right.
do you know what the page's name is?
Yes,
it
the
sh-
Australia wine page.
Yeah, just type in Australia wine page, and especially if you have all pages in, and it'll pull up trash. Cause see, I don't have anything in trash, so up here where it has all published drafts, it should have trash up there.
Okay. I see
And
it now.
just click on that, and that'll have all your trash pages. And if you want to pull it back out, now remember, it only stays in there for 30 days. After 30 days, it goes away.
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit restore so it'll come
Yep.
back.
Just hit restore, and then if you need to put it in draft, then go ahead and put it in draft, and then that way it doesn't show up on Google search.
Well, that's what I put everything in. You said don't ever delete anything because you may need
Mm-mm.
it. Put it in draft.
Yeah,
Mhm.
put it in draft, and then that way you can always come back. You see, I got 51 items in draft. I need to go back find out some of those things that I can put back in pages, and usually it's because either the offer's gone and I haven't found anything to put in there, or it's a page that I started and didn't actually finish. I have like 10 of those in there that I just wrote titles down of things that I want to write on later.
Question.
Yes,
Are you a grandma or a great grandma?
I'm a grandma 3 times. That was my 3rd grandchild.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
wondering about that.
Yeah.
Well, you just lost
Watch
out. They're
yourself,
coming to see
Emilio.
you.
I have one great grandchild, and today's his birthday. So
Yeah, my oldest grandchild is 8, so I got a ways to go.
Sheila, I have a question to ask about this page right here on the dashboard.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I have articles on my dashboard like here that don't belong to me. I never, I have 154 pages, and some of them I never even had myself. What do I do about that to make
Okay,
them
now your website came with pages
right?
that
Yes.
you are supposed to modify. Now, your instructor could have gone in there. Now, I do my students if there's a new product come out and that Rory's already done pages for, or he's asked us to do pages for, I'll go in and put them in for my students so that they can modify it. So that could be something that's happened. If you go through there and you find pages like, I don't ever remember seeing these, just click on them and see when the publish date was right here. See if it's something new, see if it's something that's been added, see if it's part of our product. If it's something that just happened to be recently added, it could be something that your instructor put in for you to go in and modify. If it's a page that you can use, go ahead and modify it and use it.
Okay. Most of them are 15 from the year 15.
then yeah, that's stuff that came with your template,
Yeah,
with your original PBS. So those are pages you need to modify.
the 15 ones, I need to
Yep.
modify those?
Yep. And see what happens is when you got a website, you got an exact copy of Rory's. That includes the original published date. So that's why I tell people whenever you go in to modify a page, make sure you change that published date. Because when you go in for Google AdSense, they look at that date and then they look and see when your website was actually put into effect. If your website was put into effect 2019 or 2015 and you got pages that's created in 2015, that's going to raise a red flag. They're going to say, okay, this website's a duplicate. So that could cause you not to get approved for Google. So you
Well,
always want to make sure that you change that publish date for whenever you finish a page, you go in and click that publish date to the date that you finished it.
but can I just draft them or put them in trash or something? Those pages?
I wouldn't say, you need to look at them first to see if there's ones that you need. You don't want to trash anything that your website needs.
Interesting.
What's some of the titles?
Oh, I can't remember. My actual page is around 90 and they have around 134, 144.
Yeah, you want to, when I got my website back 3 years ago, we got it with 148 pages.
Right.
And they've downed it, got rid of some of the obsolete pages with the newer system. So I think they started out with like 85 to 90 pages that's in there. So if you're up to 154, you want to make sure that other pages haven't been added. And if they have, then that means your instructor added them, or when you updated your system, the old pages came back. You just want to modify them, because if the pages are in your system, they're relevant content that for a product that we have, or a product that you can find. You don't ever want to draft anything in your website, because the more pages you have, the better chance you have of getting Google to come and look at you. You want content, you want those extra pages. Now, you can only have 90 items on your menu. That
Right.
doesn't mean you only have 90 items in your website. You want as many items in your website as possible. One of the things I did yesterday was I went in and took out some of the items on my menu that were old, that I haven't had time to refresh, and put some of the newer stuff in there. That doesn't mean that that page is gone out of your system. It just means that it's not a highlighted page anymore. They can still search for it in your website, but that doesn't mean that they can come to your menu and go directly to it. So that's the thing about your menu. Your menu structure are your relevant pages that you want people to have immediate access to. And then you can upload them, change them out, refresh them, put new pages in there. That doesn't mean that that's the only amount of pages you have in your system. You want as many as you can get. Paul has over 300. I have, 268. Kathleen has well over 300. Tony has well over 300. Those of us that's been here a while, we steadily add to our website. The more pages you have, the better. It just means that your menu structure cannot house them all. You don't want it to house them all. Number one, it gets too busy. You actually want people to search your website for content, because then if they can't find it, that's what your response magic's for, is for them to fill it out and say, hey, I need more information, so that you can email them or text them and say, hey, you filled out my response magic form, my mailing form, what can I help you with? And then they can tell you, well, I was looking for a product on your site and didn't see it, was wondering if I get that a lot. I saw this product and wondered if you have, something similar to it on your website. And I can tell them, no, I don't have it now, or yes, hey, I got this. And I'll go click, all the different platforms I have for products and see if I can get approved for something similar or that particular product. Then I can come back to that customer and say, yeah, I got it. Here's the page that you can go and find it. And create a page for it. Always create a page for it. Never send them directly to the link. Always create a page.
Very good. So, and when you modify a page, I see that you put the author. Do we put author after we modify a page? Do we put our own names on it?
It shows up. It automatically shows up. So whenever you have a page, so if I come to this page here,
Yeah.
at the very bottom, once it's complete, you will see your information down at the bottom. So if I go to preview this page, Just like any person would come in and look at my page, if you look at the very bottom of this page, it should have your name on it as the author. Author, the date it was posted.
Mine doesn't.
Then
Mine,
you,
yeah, it doesn't have it.
so you can have it changed to do that, and
Okay.
it's simple. So all you would have to do is when you go up here, there is the screen options.
Mm-hmm.
So you can click on screen options,
Mm-hmm.
and author should be one of them.
Okay. Author. Okay.
Maybe it's not. This is just for the columns.
It's on the left.
To the left.
I
It
see
says
it.
author.
First one on the left.
Yep.
It's
Right
on the
there.
left. I see it on the left.
Yeah.
I see it.
So any of these that I've clicked is what's going to show up. So I can see all of these here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to have your key phrase, so you'll know if you've used that key phrase before, you can actually click it so that when you look in your dashboard, you can see what key phrases you've used and if you've repeated them.
Say that again, because that's
Yeah,
something else.
really.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
something else. Yeah.
So like up here at your screen options, the
Yeah.
screen option actually shows you your dashboard.
Right.
These, like your title, your author, which shows up on the bottom of your page, you can have your published date. Then you have the number of times you've been in there. This is your SEO and your key phrase. A lot of people don't have this key phrase. So you
Oh.
can actually click this option right here and click on your key phrase. And then when you go into your dashboard and you look at your titles, you can see what key phrases you've used
Okay.
Cool.
for
Very
your
good.
for each page, so you know how you want to work it.
Very
Um,
good.
so that's one of the things. And
Oh.
then that way you have your whole page basically at a glance.
Okay.
And then when you go into actually modify a page, and say it's a page that you need to modify, when you get finished with it, right here where it says publish,
Mhm.
go here and change this date, but be cautious of the time, because if it's the time frame that you are in, if you don't change this time and you change everything else, you could put your page in the future, and it's a bugger to get them out. So always change the date and the time, so if you put it August the 28th, 2020, and you got it for 7 p.m. and it's only 7 a.m., then it's going to put your page in the future, and it won't publish until 7 p.m. that night. So be aware of everything, but you definitely don't want a page in your system that's dated before you actually started your PBS. Just remember, you got a template, so all those pages are dated the date Rory created that actual page. So when you finish the modifications, change that date. If not, it's going to raise a red flag with Google. It says, okay, you came on the scene in 2020. Why do you have a page dated 2015?
Right. Right.
They're going to be like, this is a copy. Then they're going to scrutinize your page, your website, more than they probably would if they were just like, randomly checking things. Because then they're going to do a fine-tooth comb and say, what else is in there that's wrong? What else is duplicated? What else is wrong with this? So change that published date as you finish your modifications.
So I was under the impression that we had to just modify the pages on our menu and whatnot, not the one that's on the dashboard.
You have to modify every page in your system.
Ah.
So yeah, so even after you go through your menu, I always tell my students the menu is a good place to start, because then you have a starting point. I always start from the dashboard because they're in alphabetical order. Then I can go through and check off. I've done all the A's, I've done all the B's, and go that way. You're even going to have your menu items, because your menu items should always be capitalized. So as soon as you see a capitalized title, hey, that's a menu. That's a category page. So you can, modify it accordingly. It really depends, how your instructor tells you. I always say, get with your instructor, see how they want you to do it. Menu options are always first. Go through your menu, do everything in your menu. Not everything's going to be in your menu. So once you finish that, come to your dashboard. If you've modified the published date like you're supposed to, then you can please mute yourself.
Sylvia, wait a minute.
Emilio, mute yourself, please. So you can come through and look at your dates and see anything that's not dated or that's outside your date that you started, and then hey, that's one I missed. That's one I need to fix, and go that way. But yeah, go through, don't just do your menu. Come here to your dashboard and see those extra pages that are not in your menu structure, because not everything's going to be in your menu now.
Wow.
Yeah, my instructor said when I discovered that I hadn't done dates, they go, be sure not to go in there and change your date to all the same date,
Yes,
like if there's 20 pages.
No, and that's the
At
other
the
thing, because
same
they know you're
time,
not going to create this, you're not going to do a whole website in a day. So think back, I always say do like, schedule out 2 or 3 days. Don't do like, okay, I did one on the 19th, I did one on the 16th, I did one on the 15th. Don't do that either. Space them out, give them 2 or 3 days in between if you forgot to go in and actually change the dates. Don't go in and change all the dates to the same dates and time. That's another red flag. You want to make sure that your dates are at least reasonable to when you've actually created the page. If you can remember when you created a page, that's perfect. If you can't, get as close to the date as possible, but don't have all your dates consecutively or, all in the same day. That's a red flag to Google when you go to apply for them.
Wow. A lot more to do.
Yeah. Yeah. When I started, my instructor's Debbie Lizane, she's amazing. She let me go my own pace. I'm, like I said, I'm a researcher by trade. I go in and I want to look for everything that I can find, every tidbit. I don't wait around for people. And I know she was very busy. So she said, hey, if you got problems, let me know. And I researched. I went on YouTube and found out how to do a website. I went on and did all of Roy's videos, and I rewound them and replayed them and copied down notes and freeze frame things and open up another site so I can do what he said and stop it and go do what he said and stop it. And, and I finished my website twice in 3 weeks,
Wow.
so but it was like every chance I got, I was doing something. I wasn't waiting around for somebody to answer a question. If I couldn't get an answer, hey, I had 154 pages. It was like, well, 148 pages. Let me go to the next page that may not have an issue that I can work on. So that's the thing about it. If you have a question and you're in any of the Skype groups, ask the question. I promise you somebody's already had that same issue and they know how to fix it or know how to give you directions to fix it if you can't get with the instructor. But don't just sit and fume over that page or worry about that page. You got other pages you can go to. If you're in the frame of mind, it's like, okay, I really don't want to work on this page anymore. I don't want to work on pages anymore today. I'm burnt out on pages. Go and do some ads, do some ad copies on the pages you have finished, and go out there and post some ads. Every Saturday, that's usually what I do is after I get finished with class, I fix me some lunch, talk with my family, hang out a little bit. But at nighttime, when everything's winding down from about 7 to midnight, I'm posting ads. I might not get to do it during the week, but that's my time, late at night when everything's calmed down and it's just me and everybody's, getting ready for bed or whatever. I'm posting ads or creating templates. So there's always something you can do for your business. And yeah, there's times when it's just like, I just can't think, I can't create a page, I can't modify, I can't even think of a word to put down. That's when you go and you pull up your templates and go and refresh some ads. But you never want to go a day that you don't do something for your website or for your business, even if it's going out and doing 10 extra V-marketing names, or finding another platform. I mean, we got 3 different platforms you can do V-marketing on. Grab one of them and put 10 extra emails out there, 10 extra text messages out there, but always do something for your website and your business every day. Don't go a day and not do anything. It'll become a bad habit.
Well, what happened was me. I had to spend a month to learn WordPress. I had no experience in that, and I had no understanding of the terminologies like SEO, Yoast, and all that. And it took me a whole month to learn that, so that threw me back. I didn't start until
Hello.
Yeah, trust me, there's a bunch of people. It's like I tell all, you can ask my students, even when you go on a job and you have a specific task to do, you don't learn everybody else's tasks on that same program. You learn your specific program and that's it. And that's what you work and you get good at that specific program. And when somebody comes in and say, hey, I need you to do this, you know, even though it's the same program and it's the same technique, it's a different setup, so it kind of throws you off. It's a whole different set of numbers, it's a whole different set of commands, it's a whole different set of everything. Same thing with with WordPress. Everybody uses a computer every day for something, but you don't always, are not always in the same programs as everybody else. So even though you know how to use a computer, it's the programming that throws people off. So that's why I say, you know, do baby steps, do a little bit at a time. You know, don't worry. I'm saying, and it sounds menial, but don't worry about the little things. I tell my students, get your content on a page, and then, because I have one student, he's a great writer. I mean, when I read his pages, I laugh all the time because he's already knows how to do what we try to teach people. Put yourself in your pages. He knows how to do that. His thing is the technique. You know, his sentence structure is not that great, but it's just showing him where to put a period, where to put a comma, you know, where to put a capitalization. And once he does that, his SEO turns from red to green almost immediately. But he has the content already there. So once you have the content, doing the SEO and the Yoast becomes second seat, so to speak.
Right.
It's the
Okay.
little things. The content is what's important. You can get the content in there. We can always pretty up your page, as Paul says it, to get that Yoast and SEO to where it needs to be. And I actually have students. I have one now. She's perfect, you know, and she's learning, and she's meticulous about her writing. So she is literally printing her pages off and has a notepad, and she's writing her stuff down, and then she's transferring it over because she wants to see what she's writing. She can't put it on a computer and see it the way she wants to see it. You know, she's old school, and if that's what works for you, then let that work for you. You know, go in and print out your page, and, you know, sit down with pen and paper and do like you did in high school, you know, and rewrite it, and then come back and put it on your page until you get comfortable and in yourself and comfortable with your website to where you can, you know, type it straight into your website. Whatever works for you to get you where you need to be, that's what you do.
Okay. I need to find out from Heather and Rory what it is that they want you to explain to me that they sent me here, because they said my content are very good. My writing is very good. Something else that's lacking that they wanted me to be with you. So
yeah, I'll go in and see what notes Heather put on the card, because I don't remember putting any specific notes. I know you said you had like the links that needed to be done, so we went over that. So was there anything specific that you were?
well, like I said, I'm hesitant with the ads. I can feel the hesitancy. I can feel it. You know, I'm not confident in that, and that's unusual. So I need to get my confidence in posting the ads. I don't know, you know, I'm not compassionate about everything. So
And you don't, and that's why I said you don't have to be. I'm gonna tell you the best place to start until you get your feet under you, so to speak, is to stay off of social media.
Okay.
When you're posting your ads, go to the free ad sites.
Okay.
And then go to your social media for those things that, like you said, you're passionate about, you know about, you could actually talk about and dig into with.
Right.
That's what you go to your social media about. The
Okay.
things that you're not really comfortable with, put them on the free ad sites. You know,
Okay.
because that's where they need to be. Those are the ones that are very impersonable. You have the good information there. You have the topics that people are looking for, but you just, because like that's the way I am with wine. You know, I don't drink wine. I don't.
Right. Right.
It's just not part of my culture. But I've studied wine. I've went to Napa and researched with the winemakers over there, with some of the vineyards over there. I know about the grape. I know about the ground and the properties of how it makes the grapes taste every year. I know about the bottling process and everything like that. I don't know about the taste of it. Don't ask me about it. I can tell you what wine pairs well with different things. Just research. I don't go on my social media and talk about wine.
Right.
Because everybody knows I don't drink it. So what's the point of going there? It makes me sound like I'm a liar, and I'm not that.
Right.
So I talk about what I know. I talk about the weight loss. I talk about the Bella Vita. I talk about the coffee. I talk about the Blue Scorpion. I talk about things that I know about, that I personally have tried, that I can give my own testimony about. That's what I put on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as advertising goes, that's the way I look at it. Go
Okay.
on social media where people know you and see you all the time. Post things on there that you know about, that you feel
Right.
confident in. So if somebody comes back with hits you with the question, you can give them an answer, an honest answer.
Right.
Whereas on the free ad sites, that's exactly what it is. Everybody knows it's an ad.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is not necessarily an ad. Social
Mm-hmm.
media is where you putting in your voice and your opinions, your views, your personal experiences on things that you've tried.
That's another area that they found it interesting because I'm targeting my audience as a Christian Messianic audience.
Hmm.
It's basically for Christians and Messianic Jews.
Yep.
And it's really very interesting because it's not a lot out there, and therefore the availability is really great.
Yep.
So
So
this is
so you should be able, you have so many key terms and phrases that you can use with that genre.
something.
Yeah. I
Mm,
would play it up. And like I said, you do what's comfortable to you. You write
okay,
pages, and that's one thing Paul stresses, and I stress it too. This website is yours.
right.
You make it yours. Yes, we have our key and our anchor offers that we put in all of our sites. And
Mm-hmm.
that's because that's what draws traffic. Whether we like it or not is irrelevant. It draws traffic to our site. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that's the one thing we have to market hard and heavy. That doesn't mean that's the one thing we have to pinpoint everybody to. We do need to let them know about it, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what I said. That's what the free ad sites are for.
Okay.
Your social media is for you. That's where you are more confident. That's where you are more prevalent about your products. So that's where you voice yourself. But every page that you write, people should see you in it. You should be reflected in every page, even if it's something you're not comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
They should see that. Still put your views in there. I tell people on all of my pages that
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing about the wine, I tell them this is based on my research. I
Right.
tell them I'm not a drinker, but I have
Mm-hmm.
friends that drink, and this is what they tell me. This is how this is supposed to taste.
Mm-hmm.
None of my wine pages tell them, hey, I've tried this and this is what I feel, because that will be a lie. And I'm not a liar. I want my pages to reflect me and my personality, and they do.
Okay.
People that read my pages that know me, they tell me, I see you, Sheila. I can see you saying exactly that. Yeah, that's exactly what you would say. Um, so you make your website as personal as you can to
Mm-hmm.
reflect your personality. Even though you have pages that are you're modifying, I tell all of my students, read the whole content. Don't just go paragraph by paragraph, because then you're not getting a whole lay of what the content's about. Read the whole content and see what the whole page is talking about. Then get it in your mind, in your focus. Well, how would I talk to my best friend about this? Or how would I talk to my group of people or my associates about this? Then that's where you come and do your paragraph by paragraph. Sometimes you might combine two paragraphs. Sometimes you might take a paragraph out because that's not in the flow of the way you want your page to go. Just because you have a template there, remember it's a template. It's just giving you the basic information. You take that basic information and turn it into your personality, and still use that information in a way that, hey, they're getting the same content, but it's coming from you, from your heart.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's a great help. It's a
Okay.
comfort. Yes, I can be me.
Be you, exactly, be you.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people I wrote my website twice, because the first time I wasn't me. I was still corporate Sheila, sitting behind a desk talking to CEOs and VPs every day,
Mhm.
doing HR stuff. It sounded very dry, but it was very professional. And my
Mhm.
mom was like, what did you do? What did you get yourself into? And
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And I cried for 2 days. I didn't mess with my website for 2 days. I didn't look at it, didn't open it. I was thinking, God, what did I do? I've really messed up. Um, and then I listened to Paul. People's like, what? I listened to one of Paul's, and he was like, be yourself. And I had to go back and find out who I was.
Mhm.
Who I was before I was in corporate America. I was in corporate America for 20 years. Those of you that haven't been in corporate America, you change in corporate America. you
Mhm.
know, you don't want to, but you do. You get a whole persona about you that you really don't know you have until you find out that you do. So I had to find me, who I was in high school, who I was in college, you know, the fun, outgoing projection that had my own opinion of things outside the norm. I had to think outside the box again. So that's why your website, even though it's a template, the words aren't yours. If you're not comfortable with
Right.
the words on the page, change them to where they do reflect you, to where they are you, so that when you send somebody to your page, you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable sending somebody to a page, then that means you don't have yourself in that page.
Right. Right.
Does that help any?
Yeah, that's why I haven't finished a lot of the topics in the menu. They're not my lifestyle, so
Yep.
I had to find something to replace them with, and it
Yep.
takes time because I too am a researcher. I research everything.
Yep. That's me. I research everything. I don't write
Yeah.
anything until I've gotten as many facts on it as I can.
Right.
And then I go from there. And if it's something I can't write about, then I write the facts.
Right. Good. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
You're
I
very
don't wanna
welcome.
take up everybody's time.
Oh,
Thank
and I tell people don't ever be afraid of questions, because I promise you there's somebody else that has the same issues. They're just not, they're still too timid to voice it. So everybody takes a little bit of everything else and meshes it together. That's why this group works so great, because you're asked a question that somebody might be afraid to answer or don't know how to voice the question. So never be afraid to speak up. And I'll tell you flat out, you can ask my students, if it's something I can't answer, I'll tell you I can't answer it, but I'll find it for you. Or if it's something that we can't talk, that's not a topic we need to discuss here, I'll PM you and we'll talk about it separately. So, but we're all here to learn. I still go to Paul's training every Saturday, every Thursday, because I pick up tidbits, you know, and they'll ask me stuff. Paul's asked me things several times. Sheila, do you know how to do this? Because we learn from each other. We bounce things off from each other. So don't ever be afraid to voice, because your question might trigger somebody else's answer or get rid of the block that they have. So yeah, we're open here.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I've heard Paul call you, Sheila, about answering a question. I've heard him call you onto the call. I go, yes, she is here. All right.
Yeah, we bounce off each other all the time. That's why I said it's not you know, a one person show here. We all help each other as much as we can. That's why I say if you're involved in any Skype group, you know, and you have a question, you know, get on your MSI evolution group and ask a question. There's somebody there that's already been through it, or they're going through it, and there's like, yeah, I need that answer too, you know, but they're just a little bit too timid or too new to ask the question. Because just remember, your instructor is busy. You know, we all have over hundreds of students that we try to incorporate. Not all of them are active. Not all of them need our help immediately, but there are those that do. And we try to schedule them as best we can, but we still have our own personal life. We still have our family life. So that's why we created the groups, because, you know, the other morning when I was up at 3 o'clock, I posted my finished pages at 3 o'clock, and guess what? Somebody responded. So somebody else was up at 3 o'clock. So there's always somebody up. There's always somebody willing to help. You just need to let us know you need help.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Sheila,
Yes.
it's Karen. I have a quick question. The net ads, I'm still having problems with the resizing for those because almost every picture doesn't fit.
Yep.
Is there a specific size that those need to be?
Those need to be 500 by 500 or 800 pixels. And if you are, depending on which format you use, if you already have the picture and you're trying to resize it, if you go into what is it, Paint, and go in and resize it, it will ask you for the picture or pixel. Even though it says 800 by 800, I found out sometimes it doesn't take the 800 by 800 pixel. I always do 600 or 700, and I usually have no problem.
Because I've run into that over and over and over, and I'm trying to learn to resize and do better with it, but I'm still fighting that.
Yep. And I do, and it's because when I use Canva,
That's
always.
what I was using, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I use Canva, and even when you go into Canva and you want to resize an image, I was actually on Canva today. Let me go in here because I was creating some new meme for my ads. I have Clint Eastwood on my brain for some reason. So I did one today. It says, this is the one I did for him today. It says, if you have a question about your health, it should be this: do I feel lucky? Well, do you? So, and I started to put punk, and my daughter's like, no, Mama, don't put that. So, but this is a banner, and it's going to be too big for just about anything other than social media. But if I try to use the net ads, it's going to be too big. So if I come up here to resize, and it has the custom size, you can actually go in here and downsize it. If you have this, you can have the 200 pixel. You can actually come here and do a card. You can do it in the form of a a logo. You can do a logo, you can do a business card, and it will be in the parameters. But if you wanted to go in here and change it, you want to make sure you change it to pixels, which is px, and change this to 600 by 600. Okay, and then save it.
We're leaving at 2:20.
And then, you know, either whatever size you want to put it. If you try to do 800 and 800 for whatever reason, it still doesn't work. And then you're going to hit copy and resize. And then it's going to, you know, come up and ask you, you know, to save it, do whatever you need to do. And then you just rename it and resave it, and then you'll be able to use it. So there's what it's going to look like in the resizing of it. And then you can, you know, go in and fix it up, pretty it up if you want to, just to make it fit. You can actually move this up here, you know, and fix it so it looks different. You can move this down here. So once you resize it, then you can change it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then you want to rename it. So when your folder is there, you know, I might make this a little bit better because it's 17.1. So let's go ahead and put it at 22. And then let's put it out a little bit. So, you know, there's different things you can do once you resize it and see how it looks to make it better. Move this up here. Okay. And then I always name it, says copy of Clint Eastwood, and then you download it. And I'm going to put it in my folder. Okay, once it prepares the design. And this is my folder for my logos, and it says copy of Clint Eastwood, so I always know it's a copy. And I try to put the meme size, if I know, then I put 600 by 600, so I know what size it is, and hit save. And then that way, when I go to US Net Ads, I can go to that resize by 600 by 600, and I know it's going to work.
Okay, that helps a lot because I'm trying to make new ads and do things with it, but that's a struggle. And then I get one and I made it and I really liked it, and then it wouldn't fit. And I was like, crap, I got to go back and do it all over again.
Yeah, so, that's one thing. Yeah, if you have Canva, and I tell you, Canva is a great resource tool, even if, you know, for any type of picture. And I tell all my students, even though you have, you know, a picture that you've gotten from your website or from Google Images or wherever, you still want to make sure people know how to get to you even in that picture. So you want to create your own little logo, or if you're in the memes program, use the memes program. That's wonderful. But just for basic advertising, you know, Canva's a great place, a great tool to go in and use those images and just put your website link at the bottom somewhere, and then use that picture. That way, even your picture is an ad, but it's not really considered a link, because your link is there on the picture, but it's still considered an image. So that's how you can get around some of these things where it says you can't include a link. Your picture's still a picture, even though it has a link in it. So that's why memes are so important. There's a great meme program out there Roy has. It's wonderful. And it has a meme for just about all of our anchor offers. So if you can get in that, I think it's $79.95 or $89.95 to get started, to get it set up. And then it's $8.95 a month, which they bill it in quarters. So it's like $28.95 every 3 months. And you get 5 to 6 memes every month, depending on what product that we are, you know, marketing. But this is a good program here too, to go ahead and create your own. which I do. That way I can have them for advertising so that they know that they're mine. You can create your own different things in addition to the memes program. And it's a free program.
And
They
yours
do
are
have,
always so good.
thank you. And they do have the paid program, which I get. I do have the paid program, and you have more options. You have more, images to choose from. You have more backgrounds to choose from, but they have tons of free ones out there. So you don't have to pay for it. It will tell you if you have to pay for it, so you don't have to worry about inadvertently getting something that you didn't need. But there's, several, tools that you can use out there to make your website more uniquely yours, and even your ads. The thing about social media, and even with ad programs that a lot of people don't understand or don't know, there's a rhyme and reason to it. Videos get top viewing. I don't care what the video is, but videos get top viewing on anything. So if you have a video in your ad, it's going to be placed and seen first. Pictures come second. Anything with an image will get seen underneath the video. If you have nothing but wording, that is the last thing. So you're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole. So anything without an image in it gets seen last. It may not even make it to wherever it needs to go to. So that's why you always want to make sure you have an image on anything you post in an ad. Even if it's just one image, you want that image on there. You don't want to just post an ad, or, even on Facebook, you don't want to just post a post without an image. That's where the memes come in. That's where your images come in. That's where your different things come in that you want to do. And then put your link, especially if you're doing social media, links always, always, always go in the comments.
Sheila,
Always.
Sheila,
Yes.
you gotta go.
Okay, darling. See you next. I'll Skype you with some times. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, but yeah, Canva's a great thing and for resizing images. Just even though, like I said, for the USNet ads, it does say to do the 800 pixels, just do 600. That way you're covered in your bases, and you can actually use them. There's another site. Which one is it?
I remember you said use Instagram for.
Yes,
Sizing
Instagram,
too.
but Instagram is only on your phone. We used to
Right.
have a program that you could do on your picture on your website, but Instagram shut it down because people could actually get into it. They want it to be used only on your phone. So if you have images that you've created and you have them in your Dropbox, download Dropbox onto your phone if you have the space. If not, email your images to yourself, then copy them to your phone photos, and then they're available in your Instagram when you pull up your photos. And then that way with Instagram, you can do your picture, and then Instagram is one of the few places you can actually put a link in your post, because they don't have a comment section. So you can all they have is a like. You can do a like. So Instagram is one of the few places you can put your link in your comment, but they're limited on the amount of wording you can do. Same thing with Twitter. Twitter has, you can do Twitter the same way. Twitter, you can do it from your computer. You can also do it from your phone. Twitter, I think you can only do, is it 30 or 60 characters? So if you have a really long link, it's going to cut you off. So, but I think it's this one, the free classified or the global free ads, also has a size discrepancy in there that you need to use.
I think that's 5. Is it
I think
5?
I think HotWebs does too. HotWebs is a is a umbrella company for USNet ads, but I think it also has a limit on the size. So if you just go and do that resize and do 600, you should be good. Just
Okay,
once you get it and it opens it up, just fix it so that it looks a little bit more presentable, because it is going to reshape everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Who's
Sheila,
next? Yes.
Would you go back to where it showed the titles to your links that you posted? How do you get to that?
This?
Yeah. How do you get to where you can tell it you want your links or your
Key phrases?
key phrases? Yeah.
When you open the page, you should have a tab up here in the upper right hand corner that says Screen Options.
I've never seen that, but I'll look.
Yep. And then if you click on that, there's a drop down, and then anything that's not clicked that you want to see, you click it.
I just couldn't figure
Just
out how you got that. I blinked or something when you went there. Like,
yeah.
wait a minute, how'd she get that?
Yeah, and make sure you hit apply. That's the other thing. People
Right.
click stuff and it's like it didn't show up. Make sure you hit apply. That way
You
it
always
shows
have
up.
to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you don't need everything. You just want to make sure that you can see things at a glance. You know, so you want to see, you know, your key phrase. I want to see my key phrase,
Yes.
my readability score. I want to see my SEO score, which is these right here. You know, it's all green and green. You don't have to see how many times it's been, you know, worked on or edited. You want to see your published date, because then you can go in and see what date needs to be changed. And that way you can look at it at a glance and see which pages you haven't done, because if your date's still the same, or it's an older date, then you know, hey, I need to go in and look at that. And then if you look at it and say, oh, I did modify this, then that's when you need to go in and fix that date, so that you know which ones you've modified and which ones you haven't. Those are the ones you need to work on. With Google, the other thing is that's key to these at a glance. Google wants to see everything in green. You can get away with a couple of oranges, no reds. Anything with a red will not pass Google at all. I don't care if one of them's green and one of them's red. If it's red anywhere, Google don't like it. They will not publish it. So you want to have green and green. Like this one's red, but I have it in draft. Google doesn't see anything in draft. Anything that's labeled private is not seen by Google searches or Google bots when you apply for Google AdSense. But you don't want to have half your pages or half your site in draft either. There's not really a minimum, but I tell my students, if you don't have a minimum of 110 to 115 pages with at least 15 to 20 pages of original content, don't even attempt to try apply for Google. They want to see original content.
So I have a question on that.
Yes.
With the dashboard.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So the pages I haven't modified and don't even know about that are on there, I can put them in private, and that way Google won't look at them.
You can put them in draft.
Put them in draft.
Yeah, I would put them in draft first, because I wouldn't
Okay.
put them in private. If it's something you want on your website, put it in draft. Like stuff that I have that's just for students to come to, I don't want everybody to see. I have it in private, and then it has a password to it. Same thing what Rory has, that's just for instructors only. You know, we can go to it, but there's a password that goes to it. Google
Right.
doesn't see that stuff because it's not open to the public. Only things open to the public is what Google sees.
Okay, so I can put them in draft.
Yeah, just don't forget about them. If they're in draft, you want to always go through there and pull stuff out as you get new content to put in it, or a new advertiser or affiliate. Also remember that every page doesn't have to have a link in it. You can have just informational pages out there, and then you can do an internal link that will go to another page that it explains or gives an offer for something that you're talking about. So that's one of the things you know, I hear people say, well, I got some good things I want to write about, but I don't have a link. Write about it. I promise you, as you get bigger or get more confident and get more ads coming and get more views and more likes and more clicks to your site, other advertisers will be approving you to advertise for them, and you will eventually get something to market with that page. I don't know if y'all have heard, but when I first started, cartoons is my big thing. I'll watch a cartoon before I watch anything else on TV.
I love cartoons.
And I hated what they've done to cartoons. You know, the cartoons
Yes.
now are so political. They're not like what it was when I grew up. There's so many political innuendos in there. They're not cartoons anymore. To me, they're just political advertisements. And I wrote a page one day on you know, what did y'all do to my cartoons? Get the politics out. The key phrase doesn't even work. There's not even a key phrase in there. It sat on my website for 2 weeks without a link on it, nothing. And I got over 2,000 hits on it because the people, you know, had the same opinion I did. Politics does not need to be in cartoons. But now I have, antique shops where they can actually go and get old cartoon movies. They can get old, Looney Tunes memorabilia. They can get old Disney things, but when I first wrote that page, I didn't have enough traffic coming to my site for those affiliates to even look at me. But now I do. I have antique shops. I have antique dealers. I have, Amazon where they can go and get, classic cartoons and things like that. So you can write that content in there and let it see it. And publish it, let people see that it's there, and then come back later as you grow and get bigger and actually, come up with an ad to put in there or an affiliate to put in there.
Is that part of the floating pages that you guys
Yes.
talk about?
Yes. Yep.
What is that concept? How does that work?
Floating pages are pages that are in your system, but you do not have them in your menu. As you can see, I got 268 pages, 217 pages in all. If you go to my website, I promise you won't see 268 things on this menu. I have roughly about 60.
Same thing as draft, right? Floating and draft are the same
No,
thing?
uh-uh.
No?
Floating pages are published pages. You see this search button over here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This search button is there for a reason. Just like you go and search Google, people should be able to search your website based on key phrases. So if I go in here and put nootropics in my search, all right, it's going to search for anything that has nootropics on my page. This is not in my menu. It may not be in my menu, but it's in my website. So,
so floating pages are visible. They're just not listed in your menu.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you want as many floating pages as possible. Now, like I said, remember I said at the beginning, I was working on my menu last night. So your floating page can become a menu page if that's what you want to highlight at that particular point. So right now I have tons of Christmas pages in my website, but it's not Christmas season. So I actually have a category menu that says promotion and seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So once Christmas comes out, these Easter and Valentine's going to go away, and Christmas is going to be in here. Thanksgiving and Halloween's going to be in here.
That's excellent. Wow.
So you can swap out your floating pages into your menu structure. They are pages that are still in your website. Like I said, they're just not the focal point. You can make them the focal point in your menu. That's the wonderful thing about your menu. Your menu can work with the seasons. It can work with the trends. It can work with whatever is going on in the world that you have a page about or that you write a page about. Okay? So you don't have to worry about, well, I got a page and I don't really know where to put it. Just leave it in your system. I promise you somebody's going to look for it. That's why you have key phrases. It doesn't have to be in your menu, but you can put it in your menu if you want to highlight it and make it your focal point.
Oh, I think that's where I misunderstood Paul, because he was making reference to the posts being like decorating your house. So I thought it was the posts that had to switch out at the holidays.
I don't ever mess with my posts. They're there and they're the same post I've had since the beginning. I haven't changed them. My main focus point is my website, is the main pages. Now, if there's something that comes up in a post, it's like, oh yeah, I really want to talk about this. I want it on my post page. Then I'll go in and put it on a post. The thing about posts is you can't take them down. They're there. You can move them bottom, top, based on the date. But for the most part, I don't change them. I don't mess with my posts. My main focus point is my pages.
It's basically just an introduction, just a hello, and that's about all it amounts to. An elaborated hello.
Yeah, and per Google, the way Google is you have to have at least 2 on your post page. At least 2. You can't have just 1 on a post. You got to have at least 2. So that's why I say you put something on your post page that's not wine. It has to be user-friendly for any age group. So that's the other thing. If I had people that's got wine on their post page, take it off.
Oh, so you don't want a link for wine on there at all?
Not on your, you can link it, but you shouldn't have your main topic on wine on your post page. It can be holistic medicine, it can be energy, it could be coffee, it could be weight loss, it could be you know, clothing and fashion. It can be anything other than wine. It has to be the things you want on your post page is number one, thank you for coming to my site. This is what I have to offer and I'm updating it constantly. That should be your main focus. And then your next one could be anything, but you want to make sure that next one is user friendly. So if somebody underage comes to your site, your main post, that's what they see. They don't see something they can't get.
Oh, okay, good.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Okay.
Sheila, on my
Yes.
category pages, the ones that I haven't done, I went with, I'm not sure who said it, whether it was Rory or Paul or even you, but I went and pulled the links out of those lower ones that I have not done anything with the pages. I pulled all the links out of them. They're just blank. They're information pages. Is what
Yeah.
they are.
So if you have a page and you're already advertising your website and you haven't taken your links out and the links that are there are still Rory's, yeah, go in and remove those links and just leave your
That's
information
what I
page.
did.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Do we got anything else? I got time for one more question, one or two more questions.
Sheila? Hi.
Yes. Hey, dear.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm good. You missed the baby.
Oh, no. Oh, bummer. Oh, hopefully next time.
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you today?
A couple of, no, if you have more than 2 posts, is that all right with Google?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I have 4 on mine.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Now, one other question is, you know, the pictures that you can have that go randomly on you customize and you have pictures there and you can select random and it'll go through each one in rotation. Do you know
Yes, I know what you're talking about. For
Okay.
your this.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Now, can you, like, if I want to change the order of them, can I do that?
Yeah, when you go to your dashboard,
Okay.
you want to go to Appearance
Mm-hmm.
and under Headers,
Okay.
and it's gonna, because when you do randomize, it does exactly that. It randomizes it. So when you go to your header images, you're going to click on that. And if you have it randomized to uploaded images, then whatever you have here is going to pick and choose. If you don't have it to randomize, it may just stay on one. It may go down the order. But if you have it randomized, then it's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to pick and choose at random. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get how you've put them in there. Sad to
So
say.
it won't go by order. It'll just go by whatever it wants to do.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. But the thing about it is, and this is what I tell people, you want to make sure that when you are putting these images in here, that every image relates to something you have in your website. You don't want to have something in here that's totally against, or you don't have anything that people can relate or associate with. Even this is my daughter in her wedding dress. I have a page on wedding essentials, where, so, you know, even, you know, here I got florists and inspirational things, you know, cartoons, wine, coffee. So everything that I have here that people can see is related in my website some way or form. They can find something related to everything that I have here. So you don't want to have a picture in here that has nothing to do with your website.
Sheila, it's been a while since I've done that, but how do you add your pictures there?
Right here where it says new,
Okay.
and it's gonna choose it. You choose it from same place you do your images for your website.
Okay.
So if
All
you
right.
have images uploaded in a folder, you just choose those images.
Okay.
And
I
now
don't think it looked there.
to get a image on each page, you have to use the feature image to do that?
Now, if you want it on each page or up
Yes,
here,
a different, you want, say somebody wants a picture to be different on each page?
no, you can't do that.
Can't do that. What about if you do the feature page?
The feature only shows the image up here. So like right here, This is my feature image. So when anytime anybody pulls up my page, it's going to show right here. So if I go to preview, that image is going to be at the very top of that page.
Okay.
But as far as what's going to be in the header, you can't change that to be individual.
Okay. But
You
you
keep
do-
talking about not putting many images on your pages because Google wants the space.
Yeah, Google wants the space, but like Paul said, you use your discretion. You don't want to turn your image into your page into a picture book. But like if you're doing something specifically that requires images, like a vacation, and you want to highlight the different places you've went, then yes, you're going to have more page pictures than normal.
So
I
if
have,
your image promotes the sale that helps the clicks that Google likes, then they're
Yep.
going to be perfectly
Yep.
fine with that.
yeah, so if you have, and it's all relevant to your wording. So like me, my pages hardly ever run less than, 785. That's probably one of the lowest pages I have. And I have 4 page pictures. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and one of them's a video. So that's basically how many, but you see how I have it spaced out. So Google can come in here and add. They have plenty of places to advertise, but I have almost 800 words in here. You don't want to have a picture every time you have a paragraph. You want to have your pictures relevant to what you're talking about. Now, if I have a 1,200 word page, or 1,500 word page, then yeah, I'm going to have 4 or 5 pages of images in here. But if you have a 300 word page, then you don't want but maybe 1 image. If you have a 500 word page, still 1 image is going to be sufficient. If you want to minimize your images and have smaller images, and then you can have 2 images. But if you're going to have images this size, then you need to have 700 or more words.
Okay. What's the advantage of a caption on an image?
Caption is linkable. So even though
But
you
if
have
your image is already linked, then why have a caption?
because your image, like my images are memes. Say if your image is just an image, it doesn't have anything in it, and you want to highlight that image or say what that image is for, then you put your caption under there. So my image is a meme. So say if I come here, and I'm just going to do this for instance, I'm going to come here and do an image, and I'm going to go to upload, and say I'm going to go to this image right here, and I'm going to put that in here for brain. Okay, so I'm going to center this image. Actually, let's go to the right side. No, there's already something there. Let's go to the left. So if I want a caption, so this is just a picture of a brain, and there's like, what does that have to do with it? So I can come here and write a caption. Okay, so and then from here I can actually link it. So I can come here and hit link and then put my link in here, open it. So then I can relate this image to what my article's about. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
It's relating it to your content.
Exactly. So that you just don't have a picture out there and people's going like, what does that have to do with anything? What does that image represent? So your caption basically explains your image if you don't have a meme.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Make sense? Gotcha. All right, good.
One more thing before you leave.
Okay.
Can you look at my website and see what you see that they may see I need help with? Do you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and look at your notes.
At my
give me-
website. I mean, yeah.
All right, yeah. Because I'm gonna go in there and look and see, because they should have sent all your information. If not, I'll email Heather and ask her specifically what she needs. But we'll be here every Saturday, and like I said, this week's just kind of a little different because of everything that's been going on. But usually I will create a page or go through a student site that they're having issues with pages and fix it for them. So come back again next week. Like I said, we won't be having it because Roy wants everybody to be on that training call, probably at 12:30 for the new program. So then we'll go from there. So I'm going to check these.
I personally like having a Q&A every once in a while.
Yeah, and I do too. And it just helps people get the little bit of things, you know, that there just might be a little bit of information that they're lacking. Go ahead. Yeah.
Did I have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
On our social medias, or even on our pages, is it more important to bring them to our homepage or to the items that we're advertising?
Items you're advertising. Your homepage is just that, it's a homepage. So like there's one program that I advertised when I set up an ad that I paid for. It wouldn't allow me to put a specific page. I had to put my home website, which is 5e95.com. And that's what it used, was my homepage. So your homepage is just there as an information page to let people know what's in your website. So whenever you're doing advertising, you always want to advertise the page that you want them to go to, which is usually your product. Now, if you just want to get people familiar with your website, then put your homepage site out there. But if you want them to go to a specific page, then put that specific page URL out there.
Okay, so when it says internal links, it says you don't have an internal link. Does that mean it has to go to your homepage?
No, it can go to any other page in your system that relates to that topic. So like I did the nootropics, okay? Well, this one right here, the Velavita. It's a nootropic, and it's a brain food, you know, that helps with brain fog, helps with cognitivity, helps with, you know, mental clarity and everything. So this is all external links. So my internal links, I went to the bottom and I linked it to Venom, the Blue Scorpion Venom, which is also an alternative therapy for, you know, joints, aches and pains and things like that. So I'm on a health flow here. So if whatever page you're writing, if you have another page that can relate to it or that complements it, then that's where you send it. It doesn't have to go to your home page. So if you're writing, yes, so if you're writing, and you can see on my pages, whenever I write about the coffee product and the weight loss, I'll come back in and I'll either relate it, well, now that you've lost all this weight, you need a new wardrobe, and I'll have an internal link to go to my clothing store, or talk about, hey, now that you've lost this weight, it's time for a romantic vacation, and send them to my Sephora page, where they can go, you know, plan a trip. Or you can go and celebrate, hey, it's time for celebration, you know, break out that glass of bubbly that you just got from your wine club and send them to your wine page. So it doesn't have to be
PhD in cross-referencing.
No, it just depends on what your site, that's why I said, if your site is up and you've gotten all your pages done, you're going to have plenty of cross material. It doesn't always have to go straight to your home page. What you can do is, like I said, send it to what you would do. If there's something that you like, you know, and it flows with your page, then use your internal link and send them there.
Okay, so I think I need to go in and change mine, because I was under the impression I had to go to my homepage. So some of my stuff goes to my homepage.
Yep, and you can do that. You can say thank you, but if there's something more that you want to send them to, you know, send them to another product that you can get paid for, then that's where you send them. And there's plenty of places, like I said, listen or go through what you've written and then think about what you have in your website and say, okay, what would complement this page? What's another thing that they can use besides this? Like I said, with my nootropics, it's an energy drink. You can even go and say, since you're talking about drinks and drinking products and things like that, you can even go to Sephora and pick out the juice that they have, the new all natural juices, and put that in there. Hey, if you like a nootropics, or maybe you're not into sports drinks, hey, maybe we can get you some new vegan products, you know, and then go to a whole different style with vegan programs. You know, I showed you my vegan, I have, it says calling all vegans and vegetarians. I have several pages for vegan and vegetarians, anywhere from, you know, whole plates of food delivered to their door from these companies that cater just to vegan products, you know, to even grain-fed beef products. you know, chicken and shrimps, and I have an Alaskan seafood company that's not the one that we got and they left. But you know, in Sephora you have the juice company. So it depends on what pages you have out there that you can cross-reference with. And that's what you want them to do. You don't want them to leave your system unless it's absolutely necessary, which is your affiliate link, but also give them more options inside your page that they can go to and purchase from, or see alternative methods that, you know, based on what you've already written about.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Okay,
I
let's
gotta
see.
go pick up my car. So you guys have a great weekend, and look forward to next weekend.
Yes, dear. You have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Well, bye-bye.
Enjoy the new baby.
Thank you.
Did you say no class next week, Sheila?
Yeah, because Roy's going to be having that new product launch after the wine call Saturday.
Okay.
And him and Deanna's going to go through and introduce the new product. They're also going to introduce new pages and marketing plans for that. So he wants everybody on there so that we can all be on the same page. So we won't have a class. If we do, I'll go into our chat and put it in there that we will have class. But as of right now, because I know Paul's going to cancel the student training too, because we want everybody on that class so that they can see how the new product's going to work. And so far it's working great for me.
Awesome.
Okay.
Do you still have your migraines?
Not as bad.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and like I was saying, the Velavita, it just, I was up to 3 o'clock Thursday morning because one, I took it too late, but it just keeps you going. I mean, it just frees you up, and it's like all these half thoughts that you have, they just pop in. Like I said, I was driving to my mom's to pick up my grandkids, or my mother-in-law's, and I was telling my daughter constantly, hey, make a note of this, I need to write a page, because I was just, things were just firing off right after the other, you know. And I'd see a billboard and I'd be like, oh, that'll make it, here's a title, Jessica, put this in your notes. And so the thing about it is when we got back home, I didn't have to ask her what it was. I remembered everything. And that's not normal for me because it's just constantly. But I wrote pages on everything. I think I did like 5 pages in 2 days. So it's just, but I didn't have the jitters. I didn't, you know, and I didn't have a migraine. That was the wonderful thing about it. So that was one of my things, is whenever Rory has us try new stuff, that was, you know, I always tell them, if I get a migraine, I'm gonna let you know that I can't do it. So some people it has side effects with, some people it doesn't. So just all I can say is try it and see how it affects you and go from there.
Did the venom help you with the migraines?
Not as much. It helped with a lot, like my arthritis. Well, it's not really arthritis, but I have joint pains from typing on the computer all day. And then my knee. It helped a lot. Now my migraines, it eased it up a bit, but I still, you know, nobody really knows. They can't figure out why I'm having migraines. I've been that way since I was 10. So, but you know, as far as everything else,
Do you think it would help with the MS?
it might. I mean, it's helped with cancer patients, so I don't see how it wouldn't help with the MS. I mean,
You're just way too smart for your brain. That's all it is.
Well, like I said, I've been diagnosed with hyperbrain activity, and it's very rare. I do not go into REM sleep. They don't know how I function, how my body functions, but they said my body's gotten used to it. That's how it's programmed, so it doesn't know anything else. I've had several sleep studies, and they all show the same thing. I do not go into REM sleep, even with, what was it, they gave me 2 sleep pills. I can't remember what it was called. One started with an A. They tried to give it to my daughter when she was at the hospital, tried to get her to sleep. She wouldn't take it. But even with that, my body rested, but my brain was still very active, like I was asleep, or like I was awake. So I do not go into full REM sleep. I'm always cognizant of what's going on around me. Whether I verbalize it or not, my brain's aware of my surroundings. So this medicine just heightens that. So it really, really, really brings to light things that you wouldn't think so. And it's just very calming. You know, I didn't feel jittery when I took it. Like I was saying before, you know, put it under my tongue for 15 seconds and, you know, within 3 or 4 minutes, it's like I'm just very calm, relaxed, but I'm very focused, if that makes sense. So
Does it keep you awake?
it did that night, but I took it too late.
Oh,
So it does tell you not to take it at least 6 hours before you go to bed. So, and I don't sleep much anyway. 4 or 5 hours is my max. Anything more than that, I wake up sick. So, it kept me awake, because usually I don't go to bed till 12 or 1 o'clock anyway. So, taking it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon was not probably the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, I'm the one that stays up till 3 and 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. You Skype me all the time. You forget about that.
Lane told me, he said, you need to start working on your business like around noon and not be doing it at night. And that way maybe you won't stay up so late.
Yep, you do. You have to set your own schedule. You have to set a schedule. Yep. So, all right. Any more questions? If not, we're going to call it a day.
Thank you, Sheila.
You are
Thank
very
you.
welcome. And
Thank you.
yeah, y'all just make sure you get on those programs. You know, listen to the training calls. Make sure you are definitely on the call Tuesday. That's when Roy's going to announce the new program. And then next Saturday after the wine training call is when him and Deanna are going to go into full detail on how to market it and get it up and going.
Okay.
So,
Good. Thank you.
all righty. And y'all
Thank you.
have a blessed weekend, and we will see you next week.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
bye-bye.
What kind of time frame are you looking at to get with me? Do you know?
No, I'm gonna sit down tomorrow and do my schedule, and then I'll get with you either Monday or Tuesday and let you know what our time looks like.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. Well, y'all have a good one. We'll see you next week.
All right.
All right. Bye.